Oops. Yes, I'm here. Oh, it's a little late, but don't hold it against me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here in the building. What's going on? Welcome once again to the one and the only. This is the big time show that is being seen and heard live right now as we speak. We are everywhere. What's going on, everybody? As I've told you guys for the last couple of weeks, that you're gonna just have to forgive me because my son really has me rolling, as is the case today. My son plays AAU basketball. He just had me out last night. His game was, I live here in Memphis. His game was in Hernando, Mississippi, which is about 45 to 50 minutes from where I live. And his game was at 8:30 last night. And excuse me, 8, yeah. And I had to obviously be with him and then turn around. He had a game today that started at 2 o'clock. So I stayed in Hernando last night, me and my family, and he played today. The game was over somewhere around 3:30 or so, 3:45. We didn't leave, however, until maybe 4. And excuse me, about 3:45 when we left. So now here I am. Here I am. I'm back just in enough time to get everything set up for today. So, of course, obviously, I could not get out, get this show going at 3 o'clock. I know that's my usual time, but just can't do it right now. So, I said all that to say this. Please, if you're following me, please turn on your notifications, and so that you will not miss me, whatever channel that you're watching me on. You can see me from there. As long as you got those notifications on, you will not miss me, whatever time that I come on. So I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Um, it's almost showtime, y'all. What's up, Freight Train? I see some people here. What's up, Joe? Jay Bryant. What's up, sir? Daryl Brownlee. Yes, sir. Delaney Lee. He asks why. I don't know you, but I don't know what they mean, but welcome to the show. And my brother Joe, that's all that I see as of now. Hope you guys will share if you're coming in. Share as you're coming in if you don't mind. And as well, if you do not mind, hit that star button if you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube. If you feel like you want to contribute in any way, you can hit that super chat button. And then if you want to do the Cash App, you can. If that's what you want to do, Cash App, $ the Big Time Show. It's very simple. $ the Big Time Show, and it's not a requirement, as you should know me by now. But it helps out, and I would appreciate it. So there it is. Let's go ahead and talk real quick. I haven't been with you guys not since earlier this week. I do the ride. That's a lot early for some of you. I do it as I go in to work. And the way things are going, that's really the only time that I really have. Hey, Jeff, I see you, brother. Thanks for popping in. That's really the only time that I really have. Early in the morning. I'm talking like between 7 a.m. to maybe 7:45. Um, and if you caught that show, then you know what time it is. Okay, so I appreciate all of you that are getting ready to go to work and come hang out with your boy for a minute or so. A lot of people show up on that show. I don't know. I don't. The algorithm is quite strange early in the morning. I had some very high numbers. When it's all said and done. Live, and then people that watch it. Hey, Miss Michelle, how you doing? How you doing? Glad to have you. Well, you say you back. Okay. I didn't know you had left, but I'm glad you're here now. What's going on? Let's talk a little Cowboy football. When Miss Michelle show up, I better go ahead and start talking. You know what I'm saying? You better start talking some Cowboy talk. And as you guys know by now, you know that I'm gonna say what it is that I have on my head. I guess that's why some people like me, because I'm okay. I got you, Miss Michelle. Been working a lot. I understand. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. I certainly understand. So when it comes to the Cowboys now, one thing that I want to give credit so far with Jerry and Steven, I also want to throw in Coach Schottenheimer with this as well. And I know some of you going to say something slightly different, but overall, I have to give the front office and Coach Schottenheimer a lot of credit. And you know what I'm talking about? They've been mighty quiet. It hasn't been the fan base. Now, the fan base and the major networks who got to talk about the Cowboys every single day, they're doing what they do. But it ain't what Jerry, Steven, and Schottenheimer's done. I mean, Jerry's going to pop out there and, say something, but he really ain't saying nothing, even though he's saying something. He's really hasn't said anything. Stephen Jones, this has been probably the most quiet he's been in years. And I hope y'all, I know we can't stand them and some of the stuff that they do, but the real truth of the matter is they really have been playing some real good poker. No, they're not showing their hand. They're not. The fan base, and I'm a part of that group as well. I am a part of that group. The fan base is showing their hand. Okay. The ESPN network, ESPN and Fox and all those guys, They are doing exactly what I'm doing, and that is just giving an opinion on who the Cowboys should take. They don't have any type of data or anything like that. They just, they just like Mel Kiper and all those guys. They don't know what the Cowboys are doing because you can't get really a good read on these guys right now. You can't. We don't know what we're doing. I mean, we can guess. We know what we want in the draft. We knew who we wanted in free agency and all that type of stuff. We knew who we wanted, but the Cowboys have been mighty quiet, which lets me, which is, to me, is somewhat exciting because you really don't know. I don't know which way they really are going, even with pick number 12. And before I really get into that, let me say this about one of our bona fide leaders on this team, and that is Mr. Prescott, who did a little talking, as y'all probably have seen the interview by now, but it really wasn't nothing really there. Really primarily about his health. And a lot of people are, talking about, Dak's health and all that type of stuff. And I guess, really, let me ask y'all this. Come on, let's keep it real, y'all. Let's keep it real. Let me put some music on behind here because I sound dry. Let me put this on real quick. Okay. Let's be honest, y'all. See, when folks start talking about Dak, it becomes almost unrealistic, some of the comments that you hear about Dak Prescott. And then a person like me who, I consider myself one of those keep it real type guys. No, I got one question for all those that want to analyze Dak's health and all that type of stuff. I got two things I want to say about that, and then I'll move on to probably some of the stuff y'all want to talk about. Number one, was you expecting Dak Prescott to give you the total truth about his health? Is he required to tell you from point A to point Z what the surgery was, how many, whatever screws he may have in his hamstring? Was he supposed to tell you how much blood he lost in the surgery? Good Lord of mercy. Was he supposed to tell you, how long did it take him to go to sleep before the anesthesia kicked in? What was he supposed to tell you everything? What else was he supposed to say? Of course he's gonna say he's ready. What in the world? What y'all thought he was gonna come out here and say, hey, my hamstring is about 75%? Of course he's gonna say if I had to play a game, I'm gonna play it now. You think he's gonna let everybody know what's going on with him? Is he obligated to tell everything what's going on with him? These folks be getting on my nerves, man. I'm serious. Y'all, the Dak hate is just, it's going, it seems like every off season, during the season, it seems as if the hate is just going cuckoo. And I'm trying to figure out what he's supposed to tell y'all. I ain't talking to the Cowboy fans that support him. I'm talking about to the Cowboy fans, but they hate Dak Prescott crew. That's what I'm talking to. Everything that come out this man's mouth, you go crazy. You're getting personal with it. The man has found a woman that he supposedly wants to spend the rest of his life with. He has one baby by her. She's pregnant again, about to have another daughter. And you want to analyze the main relationship. I just like, I mean, what else do you want? I guess if you're getting married to her, you're going to have to find something else to say. The main actor spent a lot of money on the ring. Good God. I wish y'all would get into somebody else's business rather than Dak Prescott like this. This is just highly ridiculous. I'm just, what he's supposed to tell you? Of course he's all right. It's not time for him to go to training camp yet. It's not time for week 1. It's not time. He got time to get stuff right? He cleared up a little rumor, that it's up to you to believe. I know you saw with his shirt off. He said he really ain't lost a lot of weight. Like everybody swore up and down. It's just amazing how he's lost about 20 pounds. How you know? What scale did you see? He lost about 20 to 30 pounds. He's the slim reaper. He does look a little smaller, but you don't know that man done lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds. You don't know that. Y'all killing me, man. I'm glad y'all look. Boy, if we spend our time, oh Lord, let me stop. I'm gonna stop. I ain't gonna even say that. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it. Hey, Shoot, who is this? I see somebody. Who is that? Shoot. They can't say that about me. Shoot. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Because especially if you follow me, if you've been listening to my show, half of these people in here who follow me for years will tell you I will get in Dak's butt quickly. They don't. I'm the type that say if he played like trash, I'm going to call it trash. And then if he played well, I'm the one that said he played well. It's really cut and dry with me. Now, when I say he played like trash, everybody will give the excuse and all that. If it's true, I will give a little credence to that as well. But I am the type that will tell, call it like it is when it comes to Dak Prescott. I always have been. Always have been. I'm the type that have always said about Dak Prescott, he is not the best quarterback in the league by no means, but he deserved his money. I said that. I sure did. I did. It only makes sense. So I'm a little perturbed by the stuff with Dak Prescott. I really am. I really am. I can't deal with it. I'm like, when will it end? I mean, can this man do anything right? And for most people who've already kind of put him, out of the state of Texas, want him gone. You know what I'm saying? You will say no. You will say that. You know what I'm saying? You will say no. He can't do anything right. And you're so desperate by the hate of Dak Prescott that it is defying your common sense and football IQ knowledge. I love you because y'all my Cowboy brothers and sisters. I love you, but I gotta tell you the truth on y'all because y'all killing me. Because y'all are the same people who said Andy Dalton was gonna take Dak Prescott's job. Y'all remember that? Then, because Cooper Rush won a few ball games, y'all said, hey, my goodness, get Cooper Rush a job. He's better than that. That's what y'all said. Y'all remember that? And then have the nerve last year to even say that Trey Lance is the man. That's what y'all said. Y'all know it's the truth. Y'all did. Y'all said it. And now you got so excited because now you done got a better version of Trey Lance, at least I think, and Joe Milton. And then y'all saying like, oh my God, Dak is in trouble. Dak is in trouble. Y'all already got that man Joe Milton started. And I'm like, the same thing I said about Trey Lance last year. Can Trey Lance beat out Cooper Rush first before y'all anoint him QB1? I'm saying the same thing about Milton. Can he beat out Will Greer first before we anoint him QB1? Like, good Lord, man. I'm just. Come on now, y'all killing me, man. Y'all killing me. And let me just go ahead and bust your bubble like I did last year and the year before that. And the year before that. And the year before that. Knock, knock. Breaking news. Dak Prescott is your starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott will not be sitting the bench. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Dak Prescott will not lose his job unless he's been injured. For some, that is breaking news. For some, because they're living in a alternate universe, an alternate Dallas Cowboy world, and I'm trying to help them because they won't listen to me, and I'm trying to tell y'all killing me with this. Just stop it. Danny Fuller, hey, your statement, I can't come against that, Danny. Danny says you will never see a Super Bowl with Dak. Hey, so far you are 100% accurate. I'm not knocking it. But I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Andy Dalton. I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Cooper Rush. I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Trey Lance. I'd rather have Dak Prescott than Will Greer and Joe Milton. I'll just take my chances. That's all I'm saying. All these quarterbacks you swearing up and down is better than Dak Prescott. I don't get it. But hey, nevertheless, it is what it is. All right. Now, here's the part also before I get into the main part I want to talk about. Here's the other part. Even if Dak Prescott has lost 20 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever they is, even if he's acquired the name of Slim Reaper, like everybody calling him now, he done got a new nickname. Let me bust the bubble of some folks now, because we got to start thinking not as overhyped fans. We got to start thinking with some common sense football knowledge. We got to, because if not, some of y'all are going, your blood pressure is going to rise too far in the air. And you cannot let that happen when you should already know the results. What am I talking about? Well, here I go. Here I go. Because some of you have assumed wrong. You have. Some of you have assumed wrong already, and you're going to have to let it go because, ladies and gentlemen, it's not happening. Okay? Now, what am I talking about? Here we go. A lot of you have assumed wrong, thinking that just because he supposedly lost a whole lot of weight, some of you have already just automatically said, well, he's getting ready to become a threat in the running game. What? Y'all better share this because y'all know y'all getting the truth in here. Come on, man. What? He about to run the ball. Dak Prescott? Yes, it seems like every year, his injury levels are, decreasing. I don't want to quite put the tag injury prone on him quite yet. He's just been hurt more lately than he has early in his career. Everybody can't be Iron Man. Sorry for you to, thinking that he's all like he's bulletproof and all that type of stuff. Like he has been a little nicked up lately. He has. But overall, he's pretty much been healthy. See what I'm saying? So, this is what I want to tell you. Why are we assuming that all of a sudden, just because you got Clayton Adams as your offensive coordinator, see, y'all got to wake up, man. I'm here to help. Just because you got Brian Schottenheimer, who said we got to run the ball. Okay? You just because you got the Clayton Adams who came over from Arizona, and his running game has been well documented as well. Okay, just because you got that don't mean that Dak Prescott is getting ready to run the ball. See, here's your common sense moment, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Okay. Arizona had Kyler Murray. Are you trying to tell me that you really believe that Dak Prescott is about to emulate Kyler Murray and and Kyler Murray's effectiveness in running the ball a whole lot? Are y'all kidding me, man? I don't. Jessica, thank you for helping me today. Thank you. Why do we think because he done lost weight or his weight is transferred to his legs, or somebody said in the chat earlier? Why don't we automatically assuming that we're going to risk a $60 million player knowing that this offense revolves around him? And all of a sudden, you think we're going to run a whole bunch of zone reads all of a sudden? When we really weren't doing that the last 2 or 3 years. What? Come on now. Why are we doing this? They got to protect him. They have to protect that. Y'all talking about that Terrence Steele ain't worth a dime. Y'all saying that Tyler Guyton ain't worth a dime. He can't block nobody. And you don't get your quarterback killed, which, he did get hurt last year. But if you know that, and you figure they'll be, better this year than they were last year. But if that is what some of y'all believe, why are y'all thinking all of a sudden they about to act like he Lamar Jackson? Dak Prescott is not Josh Allen as far as running the ball goes. He's not Lamar Jackson. And whoever would call plays like that they shouldn't even let the man take a shower. Since Brian Schottenheimer is our offensive coordinator, we'll be calling the plays. If he's calling zone reads with Dak Prescott being an option for running 7 to 8 times a game, ladies and gentlemen, they shouldn't even let Schottenheimer take a shower. Give him his pink slip and send him on out of here. You're not going to do that. Yes, Dak will occasionally scramble. I can see that. Yes, there might even be a few quarterback sneaks involved. I get that. But Dak ain't about to do no zone reads like Kyler Murray did. Just because you got Clayton Adams here, that don't mean that you about to run. Why y'all doing this? Because y'all don't be the first people. Why did he run it right there? Why did he run it? Look. Because he got to protect himself. Come on now. We got to stop this. And even if you consider him injury prone, like my brother Jay Bryan is saying here, then why would you even subject him to plays, a lot of plays, that are potentially gonna hurt him? Since some believe he's injury prone, why are we even thinking about putting this guy in harm's way? Especially if you feel like that his line is not good. Come on, y'all. It does not make any sense at all to even be thinking that way. It does not. It does not. Now, I'm some folks, look, if nobody gonna say it, I guess I'll accept the challenge. Now say it don't make sense. They're not gonna put Dak Prescott in the way. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this, because we really don't know what Dak really is like. We've seen a little video of him, throwing the ball to receivers. He looks to be in magnificent shape. He is. I mean, everybody can see that. He's putting weight on his leg, obviously. I believe him when he said if there was a game today, he's ready to play. I believe that too. That don't necessarily mean he's 100%, but it does mean he's ready to play, and I believe that. But let's just be honest with you. I don't know. He ain't had the rigors. Can I use that word? He hadn't had the rigors of an NFL season, true NFL season yet. So we don't know. We don't know how his leg, his hamstring really will respond. He ain't had that type of work really yet, where the intensity and the adrenaline, the adrenaline goes up in your body when you play. We don't know. We don't know how his body will respond. We don't know. We haven't seen it. We don't know the rehab strategies that they have for him. After a practice, after a game. We ain't had a game yet. We don't know if it's going to require a whole lot of treatment. I would think that he would have to have some work done. Even if he comes out, comes out clean for the game. It's called preventive maintenance. That's what it's called. We don't know. We haven't seen it yet. And even in the case, and now I'm going to go to the draft, y'all. Here we go. We don't know, because we haven't seen it. We don't know how fast, listen to me, we don't know how fast Dak will be coming from under center. 5-step drop for Dak may have took 2.1 seconds, if that long, 1.6, 1.5, whatever. Now, it may take 1.10, 2.0, who knows? I mean, I'm just throwing out numbers here. We don't know. We haven't seen it. We don't know the drama that's going to cause his leg. It may not cause any. I'm just saying, we don't know yet. So we can't even speculate. And if I was a betting man, and if I was trying to protect my quarterback, then, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to the draft now. Hear me out. And again, this is my opinion, and on my show, you have the right to disagree with me. I don't have no problem with it. I hope some of y'all make me see the light. I don't have no problem with it. I don't know everything. I'm about as humble as a Cowboys podcast as you gonna find. My way is not the only way. You don't have to have a microphone like I got right now. I will tell you, and I highlight just, you know what? I'm wrong. This person here is right. That's how I am. Seriously, that's how I am. I don't have no problem with it. So listen to my little theory right here. The draft. If you've been paying attention, the Cowboys, that I said earlier, have kind of kept their mouth closed, but they have slightly kind of showed their mindset. I ain't say they showed their hand. I said that they kind of showed their mindset. And during this time, everybody is playing poker. Jerry Jones is well aware, and so are you, the fan base. You and everybody else is well aware that if anybody walks through the doors of the Star for any visit, it's going to be everywhere. And half the folks that come through that door, the Cowboys, haven't even drafted. You have to go back to a list like that. I think Boss Cowboy had that list, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Hey, Coach Marv, I see you. Everybody playing poker right now. However, there is one little thing that is interesting. Not saying that's what they're doing. They could be trying to lean folks one direction, and somebody will make a move and go up the draft, and in the meantime, Cowboys will already have their guys circled who they really want, and it may not necessarily be the people that you came and heard visit. I said that to say this. Ted McMillan came to Dallas. Ibuka came to Dallas. Luther Burden came to Dallas for a visit. And our guy, Mr. Matthew Golden, came for a visit. In other words, the consensus top 4 wide receivers came to Dallas for a visit. Automatically, everybody assumes that the Cowboys have their eyes on wide receiver. I would agree with that. But here's the funny thing. There are more than just those 4 names of good receivers. We just ain't put the attention button on them like we put on the other 4. I'm telling y'all. I believe that the Cowboys will draft a wide receiver at some point in the draft. I would believe today 12 is a definite, you know what I'm saying, is a definite possibility that it could be that. But let's just assume, y'all. Let's assume that one of those guys, particularly, it seems like the top 2 names that are there that everybody's saying now is Ted McMillan and then Mr. Matthew Golden. And if you notice in the last week and a half that Mr. Golden's name is catching a lot of fire when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Even to the point where I hear that, you know, that technically speaking, Ted is there and he's a game changer, but they say if you really kind of figure the scheme fit, the receiver to get is Matthew Golden. They even started to I ain't gonna say criticize, but they'll say about Ted that he's more of a I'm not saying he is this, but I'm saying he's more of a dog type receiver. I'm talking about I'm talking about he's more of a style, like, I ain't saying he's this, so don't try to get me. I'm saying that he's more of a Dez Bryant type guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's obvious he can run routes. I mean, come on, man. Ted is great. I love Ted. If I get him, I'm shouting if we get him. No, so don't get me wrong. But Matthew Golden is like a real technician. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy that can beat you with a lot of separation by the way that he runs. I ain't talking about just running down the field. We all know he runs 4.2. I get that. I'm talking about his route running can get him open. He's that type of dude. And because of that, they seem like he's more of a Dak-friendly type receiver than Ted is. Ted McMillan. So that's why a lot of steam has come for Golden. A lot of the people that work in Dallas at the Star, they had, the podcasters, all those people. And shout out to Vacha Lombardi, our brother, who has elevated tremendously lately. I'm quite sure you guys have watched him as well. Vach has been elevated tremendously. We praise God for that and stand and one of the biggest cheerleaders I am for him, and he is outstanding. And I'm so happy for Vach, who's hanging out with some of the big hitters in that building. Shout out to Law Nation. I know all you guys follow him, so you see what he's been doing. He's sitting there at tables with with players and all that type of stuff. So he's elevated. So I just want to throw that in real quick. But to back what I was saying, if Golden is that dude, would you be mad? Let's assume. As a matter of fact, I just want to see y'all headed. I just want to see. Let's just assume that 12 is there, Ted is there, and Matthew Golden is there, and those are your choices. They've narrowed it down. Those are your two. I need everybody to type in, who you taking? Are you taking McMillan or are you taking Golden? Golden's stock has went up in Dallas Cowboy land. Even to the point where a lot of people thinking he is the pick. A lot of people are thinking that. Type it in real quick. I just want to see where y'all head at, because I got some smart people in here. Darren Brownlee said, yeah, but I know you missed that Y and T, because I'm looking at my keyboard, the T and Y right beside each other. So I know you said Darren Tech. Who else? I just want to see where you at. I just want to see where you at. If you want to know me, I personally, if I had a choice, I would want Tech. That's me. But go ahead. But I wouldn't be crying if we got Matthew Golden. I'm just telling you the truth. I'd be just as excited. Your offense will get better with either one. It's no question. I've seen Dak play with less and put up 30 points a game. I've seen Dak, be the number one offense in the league with less. I've seen it multiple times. You give Dak this, you give Dak either one of these guys, your offense is just, I'm talking about a top 10, top 10, forget that. Top 5 offense in the league with a healthy Dak Prescott. Oh, there's no question in my mind. Either one of them. But technically speaking, I would love Tech. Now, personally, let me stop. I don't think neither one I don't think Tech will be there. I don't think Tech will be there. I saw Ashton Jeanty name come up. Jeanty will not be there, y'all. I hate to bust y'all bubble for those that are holding on to hope that just let it go. Gente is known as one of the top 3 or 4 best players, period, in this draft. There is no way in the world that man is going to last to 12. There's no way. No way. No way. So, me personally, I think you can let Gente go. I think everybody will figure that out by now. But I'm just assuming. Let's just say Ted is there. And let's just say Golden is there. I see some people say Golden. Chris, hey Chris, what's up, brother? I don't think Dak. See, Dak don't need to run. We don't need to risk him. What we need to risk him for? We don't need to risk Dak running the ball. I'm not saying he don't run it at all. You know when it's needed, he can do it. Where he can be unscathed and all that type of stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But just cause I'm just going on the point that people saw him supposedly lose weight, and thinking that all of a sudden he just about to become super agile and all that type of stuff for the run the ball. I don't know why all this come into play. I don't get that. I think a lot of people say Golden. I think a majority would say Tet. However, I get it. Chris, I'm gonna leave your comment up because your comment is leading me into the right direction. I said this for those that watched me on my show, The Ride, a couple days ago, early. That come here, y'all, come here. I need your football knowledge real quick. I need your football knowledge. I need to get, matter of fact, hold on, y'all. I need to get my brothers in here. I need to get my brothers in here. And that's a good plug. Let me plug real quick. Let me plug this real quick and then I'll get to what I was saying. This draft, I'm gonna do something like I did last year, but it'll be on a bigger scale. And that is, I am going to be in a draft show with all of my brothers of the DC universe, Boss, Henny, Lamore, Lose Takes, Amp. I think Law is supposed to be in this. I think Big Game James is supposed to be in this. We are going to give one of the greatest draft shows that y'all gonna ever see. You're gonna have legitimate people, Dallas Cowboy content creators. We're just not talking just Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna be talking to everybody. So whatever your team is, your team will be touched by us. It's gonna sound strange because all we do is talk Cowboys, but you're gonna see the versatility of how good we really are. I'm just telling you, it's gonna be electrifying on those couple of days, if I'm not mistaken. I will be a part of it. As I said, I just gave you a few of the names that are all gonna be there. I believe Landlord is a part of it, if I'm not mistaken. West Coast is gonna be a part of it. I think the OC is gonna be a part of this. It's just gonna be crazy. So I hope that you guys will give us the opportunity. All of our channels will be combined. We're looking for a humongous crowd for the draft. We're really gonna do it. We're gonna do it big, and trust me, get ready for it. The DC universe is coming together. I wish I had that flyer that I had. I won't, so y'all can see it, but you'll see a lot of this probably starting this week for the advertisement of it. I hope you guys will give us the chance to. I know y'all been watching ESPN a little bit, but come on, watch us. At least with us, you'll get an honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? So check that out. I'm about to bring the brothers in here. See who all gonna see the bat signal in there. No, just give me a second, I'm sorry. Because I brought them in. I'm bringing them in because I got something to say real quick. And I want them to hear me. And then I want them to run with it. Y'all give me a chance here. Okay. Let's see if they pop in real quick. Alright, so here we go. Let me, I need your common sense, y'all. Here we go. If you are going to get a Ted McMillan, or you're going to get a Matthew Golden, can I ask y'all this question? And it answers Chris' question right here at the top. He's saying we have to balance the run to pass ratio. If you add a Ted or a Matthew Golden with CeeDee Lamb and a Jake Ferguson in the middle, why does everybody just automatically believe that we gonna run the ball? Can y'all? I mean, come on now. Come on now. CD over 100, catches. I ain't even talking about the targets. Okay, if you get a Ted and he's healthy, Ted McMillan, or you get a healthy Matthew Golden in here, if you were a betting man, you would say they would have more production than our number 2 wide receiver from last year, Mr. Cooks. Right? You usually want your wide receiver 2 to have somewhere between, for a season, if they're healthy, of course, somewhere between 70 plus catches and up, which automatically means you would have more production than you've ever had at a number 2 receiver, even with a healthy Michael Gallup here. Of course, CD's numbers, you figure, will stay the same. Even though he got double teamed and even though they bracketed him and all that, he still had over, all pro, still had over 100 catches. I mean, come on. CD is going to be CD. But if you get an extra 20 to 25, 30 catches from your wide receiver 2 position, and he's got 70 plus, I mean, are we really going to be a running team? See, I think that's where a lot of people messed up. I believe the Cowboys definitely want to run the ball when they want to. It's not like we about to turn into a Derrick Henry brutal, beat you up type style football team. It's just no way. There's no way. CeeDee Lamb still has to get what he gets. You add a Golden. Let me make it even more clear. I'm going to make it more clear. I mean, come on now. Let's be honest. If you add a Ted McMillan or a Matthew Golden to this team right now, your strongest unit on your offense, I'll tie them together because they're tied together, is your quarterback and your wide receiver room. It's not your offensive line. It's not your running back room. It's not your tight end group. It'll be your wide receivers and your quarterback. That's the strongest unit, strongest part of your offense. If you add a Golden or a McMillan to this team. So why wouldn't you throw the ball? My goodness, let me tell you something. If you add a Ted McMillan to this team or a Matthew Golden to this team, you better be throwing. You still can run. The Cowboys want to run it. There my brother is. I tell you the brothers are coming. If you add a Ted McMillan or Matthew Golden to this team, your strongest unit, I don't know why anybody gonna argue with me on this. Your strongest unit will be your quarterback and your wide receiver room. If you add a Matthew Golden or a Ted McMillan to this team, the strongest unit on your offense would be your quarterback / wide receiver. Why do I say quarterback / wide receiver? Because the wide receiver can only shine if the quarterback gets them the ball. You better be throwing it. I don't want to hear nothing about we got to punish the ball. Yeah, the Cowboys will run it. I believe look, I've seen them with a healthier, I think that's a better one. A healthier Ezekiel Elliott and a healthy Tony Pollard. We still didn't run. We passed the ball like we was the running gun offense of the old Houston Oilers with Warren Moon and all those guys. Come on now, stop it. We've been big in the running more for the last 6 to 7 years with a healthy Ezekiel Elliott. They're going to do the same thing they did last year, but with better talent. They still going to be a run by committee team. They are. It's just better talent. I'm not expecting whoever we get, even if you was to get a Genty. Even if you were to get a Genty, I'm still saying, yeah, he would be more, put his hand on the ball a whole lot more. I would give you that. And I'm not saying that he would be a workhorse running back, that he wouldn't get the ball in some game, 27 plus times. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen. I'm just saying that there's nowhere in the world that Dak Prescott is going to throw the ball 24 times. And we run it 50. My brothers in. I told you to throw the bat signal up. Here they come. Here come Luke. What's up, Luke? Henry, what's up? I'm just being realistic. There's nowhere in the world, because I've told y'all this many a time. And I got proof. I got proof, y'all. I got proof. See, let me take your mind back to Pittsburgh game last year. That was the introductory game that we saw Rico have a great game, and he had a very good game. It looked like he had taken stranglehold over the running back one position. Everybody remember that. What happened the very next week? Ezekiel Elliott started crying. Y'all remember that? What happened? Make a long story short, Ezekiel Elliott was the #1 running back next year, the next game, and Rico had a mystery injury that had him in a jogging suit the very next week. Y'all remember that? Mike McCarthy didn't want that. What happened, big time? I'll tell you what happened. Jerry Jones. Y'all know what happened. So what I'm saying is, Jerry Jones would be the same guy that would go, and see, I'm going to have a problem now because I got my brother here, Lou in here, and he ain't going to like this, but it's the truth. I can see it. I can see that same Jerry Jones get involved, get into Schottenheimer's ear and say, hey man, look, I got a man that's getting paid $60 million. And I got a wide receiver that's getting paid $34 million. And there's nowhere in the world, out of 24 catches, my #1 wide receiver, who I'm paying $34 million now, he don't supposed to have 3 catches for 58 yards. That ain't what I paid for. No. I got a quarterback who's getting paid $60 million. I ain't paying him to just see him drop back and hand the ball off. That ain't what I paid for. No. Coach, I need to see. I didn't pay for him to be under center, just handing the ball off. I understand that we lead the league in rushing attempts. I understand that we may even be leading the league in rushing, but that ain't what I could care less about time of possession. My quarterback need to throw the football. Y'all know Jerry would do that. He did it for Ezekiel Elliott. That's my proof. That's my proof. So I can see Jerry doing that. I don't care nothing about leading the league and rushing attempts. I can see Jerry saying this. I'm paying $94 million between two guys. You need to get them the ball. I can see this. But I don't think it's going to come down to that. Lou, you might have quiet over there because I know you want to run the ball. I do too. But I don't think it's going to get down to that. I really believe that they're going to throw the ball anyway. Especially if you're adding a Ted McMillan or Matthew Golden to your team. Why wouldn't you take advantage of the talent level that you have on there? I'm just serious, y'all. So I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe. I appreciate you, Greg. I got you. You said I'm wrong on that. Okay, at least about the money part. Okay, I don't have no problem with that. All I'm saying is the philosophy of we're just gonna be a grinded out, beat you up, running football team. Especially if you're adding this type of talent to your offense. And all of a sudden you just gonna tell me we're gonna be running the ball. I don't see it. I don't. Yeah, somebody got to show me. Schottenheimer's going to have to show me. I don't believe it. I heard the same thing the last 3-4 years, and all I saw was Dak Prescott in the shotgun. When you combine that with what people are saying about Dak Prescott, which I don't believe, but nevertheless people are saying that he's an injury-prone type quarterback now, or whatever people are saying. Okay, if that is the case, don't you have to protect your quarterback? Watch this. Then why don't you put him into the same formation that you put Cooper Rush in, which is the pistol formation? You don't know what you get. He don't have to come on the center. He'll be halfway between the running back and of course the center, and you can pass out of it. Obviously, you don't know what we're doing, or hand it off. You just don't know. Or Dak Prescott is going to get into his usual position. What is that? The shotgun. You got to protect your quarterback, right? If the Cowboys feel like he's injury prone, and a lot of this season is dependent upon Dak Prescott simply being there, if that is the case, you got to protect them. You got to. You have to. How do you protect them? Getting the ball out quick. How do you get the ball out quick? Throwing the football. Of course we're going to run it, but I'm just saying it's to me, common sense land. Thank you for that. Here's my problem with what you said. Here's my problem with what you just said. Even though what you said is 1,000,000% true. How do the Cowboys do that? Even when we're winning. How do the Cowboys do that? Seriously. And keep in mind, for the last 6-7 years, we done had the same story. We got to run the ball. We got to run. Good Lord. It done took 7 seasons for us to finally figure that part out. Still ain't been done. When have we really ran it 30 times? And if you run it over 30 times, 30 to 35, then Dak Prescott will be throwing the ball under 27 times a game. Which, of course, will be the balance that I feel like we need. But there ain't nowhere in the world you telling me that you're going to add a Ted McMillan or Matthew Gold in here, and all of a sudden we're going to keep that same philosophy. I don't believe it. Gonna throw the ball. That's the strongest part of your offense. You better throw the ball. What you drafting a number at 12, a number one wide receiver, part two, to this team? I don't see it. Chris John said, "Why am I so negative?" I'm not negative at all. Just throwing out a couple quick questions. I'm telling you what I don't see. I don't think it's negative at all. If anything, I'm saying throw the ball. I got Tech on one side, or Golden on one side. I got CeeDee Lamb on the other. I got Jake Ferguson in the middle. Yeah, throw it. I don't care who you get in the draft at running back. That includes Genty, even though I know he's not there. If you get Genty on this team, I'm just throwing this out even though I know this wouldn't happen. If you get Genty on this team, your strongest that would balance it out. Depending on who you would get to be wide receiver 2. If you're telling me it's Mingo and CeeDee Lamb and you got Genty, I'll say things will just tighten up. Then I got to see, I will have to see how well the offensive line is before I say the running game is our strongest point. That remains to be seen. We ain't going to know that until maybe week 4 when we combine all 4 games together and say, okay, we really can run the ball now. See? Really can't judge it off one game. If the running game is quarters in a season. You got to get the first 4, then the next 4, and by week 8, you really know who you are as a football team. So I will have to see how well the line is before I say, even with a Genty there, that we're better. But if you, I hate to sound repetitive, but it is what it is. If you're telling me that I have Ted McMillan or Matthew Golden and CeeDee Lamb on the other side and Jake Ferguson in the middle, is no question that the passing game would be the strongest point, the strongest unit on your offense. I don't think it's debatable. And when you're running your offense, what do we always have said, or what have you always heard? That you got to give your players the ball. You got to give your big, no pun intended, but your big time players the ball. Well, on your offense, if you get a Ted or a Golden there, your big time players, your home run hitters, would be your wide receiver group. And the only way they get it is unless your quarterback throws the football. I'm just telling y'all. Because some of y'all gonna get on here and say, okay, we just picked up Ted McMillan, or we just picked up Matthew Golden. And some of y'all gonna be so strong and say, we gotta run the ball primarily. And I'm gonna be like, what? Why y'all thinking this gonna happen? When you done seen for years Dak have less and threw it 35 times a game. Had less. With a healthy Tony Pollard. With a somewhat healthy Ezekiel Elliott. And still threw it 35 times a game. And you gonna sit and tell me you add a weapon like a Ted McMillan or a Matthew Golden in this team, and all of a sudden we gonna act like we got Derrick Henry in the backfield now? It's not going to happen, y'all. It's not. We're gonna run the ball when we have to, when we need to. Huh? We're gonna run it. We're gonna run it. But if you think whoever your running back is, Marion Hampton, if a lot of y'all want him, pretty much everybody done kicked Genty out because it was unrealistic in the first place. You know, he's a top 3, top 4 best player in the whole draft. And people somehow thinking he gonna last to 12. It's unrealistic. If it's Caleb Johnson, if it's Harvey, if it's Devin Neal, if it's Rashad Smith, whoever you want as running back, we'll run it with them when we need to run it. He gonna be whoever the running back is will not be a workhorse running back. Look who we got. That ought to tell you we going by committee. So the idea of having a workhorse, that ain't gonna be the case this year. You just need a guy that people gonna respect and throw. Right now, people ain't scared of Miles Sanders. They're not scared of Williams. They're not scared of Hunter Limpkin. They're not scared of Dukes. You do need somebody in the backfield that people gonna say, hold up a minute. If we run a light box up here, this guy here can hurt us. Right now, you ain't scared of Miles Sanders. Whoever your running back is, it'll be by a committee. Now, will they run it 20 times a game? I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously because we had healthy Tony Pollard. We had a healthy Zeke Elliott. He rarely got the ball over 20 times a game. Tony Pollard definitely didn't do it too many times. So I can't see that. We need a running back that's going to average somewhere between 4.3, maybe 4.2 and higher, that type of thing. I can see it. I can see it. But make no mistake about it, y'all. You got a quarterback that's used to throwing 30 touchdowns a game, 30 touchdowns a year, plus 30 plus touchdowns a year. 4,000, God knows, over 4,000, 4,400, 4,500 yards a year. This is what Dak does. As long as he's healthy, this ain't no surprise to none of y'all. Y'all know what he do. You can hate on him all you want. What it is guaranteed is he is going to throw for over 4,000 yards. He is going to throw 30 plus touchdowns. This is every year. With less. I've seen him do it with less. This is what he does. We got enough evidence to prove that now. Look. What all of a sudden y'all think he's going to throw for 3,200 yards? No. Schottenheimer at Seattle had to run the ball. He had Geno as his quarterback. That's why they drafted them great running backs they had, Rashad Penny and all those guys. Lynch, Marshawn. Come on now. That Russell Wilson was not the Russell Wilson. The Russell Wilson was handing the ball off back then. They didn't have no DK Metcalf at that time. You didn't even remember Tyler Lockett may have been the best one. That was he was younger. You didn't even really know who they had at wide receiver back then with Seattle. So I'm not even comparing Schottenheimer, Seattle days to Dallas. Right now, he ain't never had this type of talent. Common sense said, do you think the way that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, that would change the league to more of a run first? Yeah, if you got a Saquon Barkley. But how many of the Saquon Barkleys are in the league? When I say a Saquon Barkley, I'm talking about a guy that gives you 2,000 yards a year. A person that will get the ball 25 times a game. How many of those are really in the league? What? Who? Just Derrick Henry, maybe? That will get the ball a lot like Saquon did? There ain't nobody else. Even the Detroit Lions with Montgomery and Gibbs, they're split. And both of them are outstanding. Saquon and Derrick Henry are, they're rare. Yeah, you can do it like that, common sense. If you got Saquon Barkley in your backfield, yeah, you can do that. But we don't have that. Even if you get, even if, even if you were to get Genty, you don't know what he really is yet because he ain't done it on this level yet. So, the jury will still be out. And if that's the case for him, then that's what his life for Marion Hampton, for any other running back name you want to throw up. So, I don't know who this guy, I don't know who these guys are. I know what he did in Kansas, and I know what he did at Boise State. I know what he did at North Carolina and Hampton. And, all the other guys. I know what Dylan Sampson did at Tennessee. I know what they did at college. Y'all do understand there's a whole different ball game in the league, though, right? Y'all do know that. How many great running backs has it been in college? Then come to the league, they kind of above mediocrity. See? We don't know yet. I guess you can say the same thing about Ted, the same thing about Matthew Golden. I guess you can say that. You can say the same thing. You can say, well, I know what Ted did in Arizona. I know what Golden did at Texas. But he ain't win against these type of quarterbacks. You have a good point. If that's the way you want to go with it, I agree. Exactly. See, we gotta start thinking beyond all of that. Robert Foley, I agree with you. That's the way it's been for years. That the SEC trained all these guys to a great level. Everybody knows that. But we got to start thinking about this stuff. Like, really, wherever Dak Prescott is, they got to protect him, y'all. I said all this to say, just to say this. They have to protect Dak Prescott. And because Dak is a dog, sometimes you got to protect your quarterback from himself. Y'all don't want to hear me today. Because Dak is an instinctive football player. And he will pull it down and run it. But the Cowboys don't want Dak Prescott running no football. They hold their breath every time they pull him up. If he slide wrong, they wonder if he gonna mess his ankle up. They don't want Dak Prescott. That's $60 million. He's QB number one. There's a drop off between QB 1 and QB 2. QB 2 is no question, especially this year. Even if Joe Milton beats out Will Grier, the difference between Dak Prescott and Joe Milton is a gap. Oh Lord, I don't know why I said that, because some of y'all finna go crazy and say, no, it won't. Joe Milton is better. He can run the ball. So could Trey Lance. Trey Lance could run the ball last year. Who cares about he can run the football? Can he pass it and put it where it need to be? Can he be accurate? The answer to that question is no. Y'all don't want to tell the truth. Robert Foley. In his chat, he asked this question. I don't know, Robert. It's totally, you can't do that. I can't say it because as we get closer and closer, just as most of you are noticing, things are changing. For instance, do y'all know who's really going to cause drama in this draft this year? Just because of the latest news. Shedeur Sanders. The reason why I'm saying Shedeur Sanders is going to cause a lot of interesting things is because of what you heard about Derek Carr. No, this ain't Cowboy related, but it is because I think it may have something to do with the draft. Derek Carr all of a sudden a report has come out that his shoulder is really messed up, even to the point that they thinking that it may lead to him losing the 2025 season. The New Orleans Saints, I believe, have the 9th pick in the draft. They didn't need a quarterback at 9 until this news came out. So, Cam Ward obviously will probably be the number 1 pick to Tennessee. The Jason Dart kid is gaining a lot of momentum to the point where a lot of people thinking he might go really in that place of, in the top 15. Okay. Kellen Moore is your coach of the New Orleans Saints. What does that mean? They're going to throw the ball. Y'all know that. And then you're going to have a lot of teams playing poker. Here's my question. I believe Shedeur Sanders, because a lot of people had him going lower for some reason. And he wasn't going to the Jets. They got theirs. I thought Ted McMillan, I thought that was the perfect spot for him. And he very well may still be there. I mean, that very well may be the point. To have Chris Olave and Ted McMillan as your wide receiver 1 and 2 with Derek Carr. Oh, you would have said, oh my God, let's play football. But since his shoulder is messed up and he probably gonna miss the season, and you don't know how that's gonna turn out later on, you might need to be in the market for a quarterback. So what once may have not been your thought process at all, now all of a sudden it is. And here's the thing. The New Orleans Saints, if I read it right, the New Orleans Saints are bringing Shedeur Sanders in. I thought it was today or tomorrow. Chris Johnson, no sir. It's only one Saquon Barkley. Only one. You can't. Saquon Barkley had 2,000 yards. That's the reason why Philadelphia won the Super Bowl this year. You added another loaded weapon to the gun of the Philadelphia Eagles. Can't duplicate that. Kellen Moore is primarily known as a passing quarterback. He had one exception, and that was last year because he had Saquon Barkley. He went with the strength of the team. So that's why I was saying I believe Derek Carr was going to have Tet at 9, and he would already have Chris Olave, whatever his name is. And you could have said, okay, we're ready to play football. But since he's probably going to be gone, now quarterback comes into play. Here's my question, and this is just speculation. What if other teams know you got your bullseye on Shedeur Sanders? They want to play a little game with you at the draft and say, well, we're thinking about taking quarterback here at 7. I mean, I'm just throwing it out at the Giants or something like that. I'm just saying, they got Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. They still saying, we might take Shedeur here at 3. And the Saints got their mind made up. We have to have Shedeur Sanders. Okay, guess what got to happen in order for that for that to happen? You got to trade up. And to move from 9 to 3, that's a nice price that you're going to have to pay. Shedeur Sanders, y'all, is going to be the wild card in this thing. I just want to throw that out there, which would be great for us, since we talking Cowboys here. It'll be great for us because that moves a few players down a little lower, and we gonna get whoever we want. I'm just saying, that news by Derek Carr is huge. Even if that meant, forget Shador, even if that meant that Jason Dart moves up. The Saints got to go get a quarterback. Everybody talking about, well, they should tank and go ahead and get Arch Manning. Ladies and gentlemen, the way college football is set up now, if a player of Arch Manning's stature, and the reason why I'm saying his stature is because I looked it up this morning, Arch Manning is getting paid $6.6 million in NIL money. Why would he come to the league? And that's just all one deal. Well, not all one deal, but he just signed in January a NIL deal with Red Bull, which carried his NIL money all the way up to $6.6 million in college. 19 years old. Just really gonna be the really name the starter this year. Why would he come to the NFL, whoever the worst team in the league gonna be next year, and we all know that he may not want to play there? Why would he leave Texas? Before he leaves Texas, he is going to be over $10 million in NIL money this season. Watch. Why would he leave? So the idea of saying, well, with New Orleans, we're going to take another player and we'll tank. Well, of course, they ain't going to say that. But I'm saying the idea, who's going to tank for Arch Manning? How you know you're going to get him? How you know he's going to leave? How you know? It's kind of the same thing. I know that this is not football related, but it's the same thing. Everybody assumed this year, if you're a college basketball fan, that Cooper Flagg, the player of the year this year in college basketball, and no question, number one pick in the draft this season. Everybody said he'll be the first pick in the draft. He going back to Duke next year. I already said it. Already been done. He's not entering the draft. And you got teams in the NBA who purposely sat players down. Because they thought for sure that Cooper Flagg was going to leave Duke this year and enter the draft. Now they sick. Same thing with Arch Manning. If Arch is getting paid 6.6 now, and the season hadn't even started, you don't believe that Arch Manning is going to add to that NIL money endorsements that he had? It is no way. Arch Manning is the quarterback of the Texas Longhorns, who just in January just signed a NIL deal with Red Bull, the energy drink. Y'all don't think he finna add to that this season? Come on now. So it behooves me to go back to what I said earlier. Since Derek Carr, has all of a sudden this gigantic shoulder injury that looked like it's going to keep him out for this whole season, then the Saints, at least I think, are in the market for a quarterback in this draft. Whether that's Jason Dart or Shador Sanders, whichever one. It all depends on what Kellen Moore like. It all depends. And please just don't, and keep in mind, please just don't say, everybody say who's better. You'll probably say, Shador is the better quarterback. But does it fit Kellen Moore's system? Okay. It could be that. I'm just saying the Saints are in for a quarterback. And because of that, there's a good chance that the Saints may be, in order to get their guy, they might have to move up. They might have to move up and go get in front of a team who may be playing poker with them and saying, hey, we're in the market for a quarterback, when in actuality, they're in the program looking for a lineman instead. But they're telling everybody we want a quarterback because they know you're going to move up. Please understand how this game is being played. And I think the Saints are going to move up, whether it's for Shador or whether it's for Jason Dart. Pick your choice. And I think it's going to move players down who supposedly was supposed to go, somewhat about it, supposed to go at 7, presumed, but in actuality, because of maybe the Saints moving up, they may slip down to 9. And the further you go down, we're going to have a lot of choices at pick 12. I can see it. Shador Sanders or Jason Dart. I think those two, you better keep your eye on in this draft, because those two are going to shake up how the draft is going to shake out. So to answer the question earlier about who do I think the Cowboys are going to draft, it's hard to tell because you don't know how this board is going to fall. You just don't know. Especially when you get past the first round. You just don't know. Y'all heard, I'm quite sure some of y'all heard, Jay Bryant, are you still here? Because this is the one I need to ask since he's here. Jay Bryant, if you're still here, answer this question for me. Why all of a sudden a guy that was projected to go in the second round or late first round, definitely early second round, why all of a sudden are people saying that Amarian Hampton might get picked at 12? When all this happened? Even though I don't think the Cowboys would do that. That would be too much of a reach. Kid Cowboy. Really ain't nobody in the second round worth talking about. Once you get past, well, this is one. Once you get past Cam Ward, once you get past Shador, once you get past Jason Dart, if you really want to go, past that, I ain't gonna say that. Once you get past those 3, you're really getting the same thing. I mean, if you go get Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon, I mean, whatever. If you want to go with Howard out of Ohio State, that ain't shaking up nothing. I mean, whatever quarterback after Dart, Shador Sanders, and Cam Ward, that ain't. The Saints won't even. The Saints will just go with the kid that they got, that they drafted in the first round last year. That ain't no difference maker. If you draft a quarterback, you want a difference maker. So the Saints ain't drafting no quarterback in no second round. I don't see it. If anything, they're gonna get a veteran. Yeah, Leonard, he ain't nobody. I ain't knocking him. He is somebody, but that ain't no worth talking about. So in other words, keep your mind on the Saints and what they will do or won't do. That's if. Now, like I said, that's just me talking. I ain't got nothing to hang my hat on that one. I'm just saying it seemed like to me that they would be trying to get a quarterback. And if Carr's shoulder's messed up, how it's going to ever be the same. So this may be one of these moments where you need to find your quarterback of maybe the next 8 to 10 years in this draft here. Because there ain't no sense in talking about next year's draft because the guy that you may be zeroing in on you, he may not be there for you next year. Period. You don't know that. So this may be the move for the Saints. And if that is the case, then players are going to drop down. Who you thought may be in the top from that 8 to 12 range, whoever you thought that would go at 8 may be coming down to 10 or something like that. That's what I'm saying. Keep your eye on Shedeur Sanders, Jason Dart. Keep your eye on those two. For real. Alright. I think I had one more thing. Or do I even want to talk about that? As far as the draft goes, one last thing. If Ted McMillan is not there, if I believe Golden would be there, I do. If Ted McMillan is not there, if Genty is not there, and neither one of them, I don't think I'm begging. I'm saying they won't be there. But if neither are there, then my mind is opening to moving down just a little. Because even if Golden is gone, you still gonna have Luther Burden there, and you still gonna have Ibuka there. I'm cool with either one of them at the first round pick, no matter where you're drafting it. I'm cool with that. If Ted is gone and Matthew Golden are gone, and they're gone, I'm cool with moving down and you snatch up Luther Burden or Ibuka from Ohio State. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Seriously. Come right back in the second round, get my running back. Oh, shit. I'm ready to rock. Let's go play football. I'm ready to play football. And the only reason why I say in the second round, because your Hendersons are there from Ohio State. Hampton possibly is there in the second round. Those two guys, Jenkins from Ohio State, could either be second round or third round. See, out of those three, you ready to play football with one of those. I'm not saying you can't play with everybody else that's lower or whatever. I'm just saying those type of guys are being scouted as first round, early second round running backs for a reason. They don't have a fifth round grade. They don't have a fourth round grade. They don't even have a third round grade. You have to respect it. There's a reason why they have that. You give me one of those in the second round, you give me another wide receiver there, I'm gonna tell everybody, okay, Cowboys ready to play a little football now. Oh yeah. Ain't no doubt about it. So I just want to throw that. I want to throw that out there. That you move back. And Kid Cowboy, I don't have a problem with us drafting offensive line. I don't have no problem with it. I don't. You just gonna tick off a lot of the fan base by not going to get some weapons for Mr. Prescott and Schottenheimer. That's what the problem gonna be. I wouldn't be mad at all to go get an offensive line. Actually, it'd be a smart decision if you did go get offensive line. It would be. I don't have no problem with it. It's just not sexy. Like a lot of people want these sexy picks. They don't want the conservative pick. They consider offensive lineman conservative pick. They don't want that. They want a home run splash pick. That's what they want. At 12. Kid Cowboy. Who you say every year? I say. I hope you ain't talking about me. You ain't never heard the word Super Bowl out of my mouth. Never. You got me mixed up with another content creator. You'll never hear me say Super Bowl. The furthest I went for a championship when I say we'll win NFC East. Now I've said that, but I ain't said nothing else. You gotta go home, go check out your because every show you on, Kid Cowboy, you know you always come negative as all I know. You might have shows confused right now. So I'm not the one. Alright. O-line, stop it. You stop it. Stop, Kid Cowboy. You're making yourself look bad right here. Mr. Martin, Zach Martin, just a couple years ago was crying because he wasn't the highest paid guard in the league and said he wasn't coming to training camp, he wasn't going to do this, and he didn't. And Jerry met him and gave him a contract, and guess what? He was the highest paid guard after that. Stop it. Tyron Smith, when he was here, was always one of the top two our left tackles being paid. Stop it. Stop it. And in a couple of years, or next year maybe, when Tyler Smith is up for his contract, he will be probably the highest paid guard in the league. Get ready for it. It's the truth. And you know it. So, let's stop there. You can't be an all-pro guard like Tyler Smith in his first 2 to 3 years. Kid Cowboy, keep in mind your record this season. I mean, since I've been talking to you on, since you've been following me or whatever, your predictions about free agency and Cowboys signing people, you got a pretty low record, don't you? You know that, right? So, Tyler Smith ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I agree, DP. Kid Cowboy, your record and track record ain't too cool when it comes to predictions about it. The same way that they afforded Dak and CD in the same year and going to afford Michael Parsons, that's how. You said it was impossible that Dak and CD were going to get paid. That's what you said. Oh, well, here we go. Let's stop. You can afford it. Not only they can afford Dak, CD, but they're going to afford Michael Parsons in a minute. Get ready for that. So, that's why I say your record when it comes to free agency and who the Cowboys gonna keep and who they gonna pay and they not gonna pay, it ain't too good. Matter of fact, compared to mine, Kid Cowboy, I think I've been pretty accurate, haven't I? Nevertheless, all right, y'all take it easy, man. I gotta get out of here. OSU boys will do. Hampton going first round, big time dude, was 40% offense for 2 years. These guys that can. I'm not doubting Hampton's talent level, what he can and can't do DP. The only problem that I have with Amar and Hampton is how in the world does Amar and Hampton primarily go from a second round, well, I ain't gonna say a second round grade, but pretty much most have him in the second round. And just as recently as this week, I heard people say that he should possibly be picked at 12. That is a huge jump. That's a huge jump going from pick 44 And now all of a sudden at pick 12, isn't that a reach? Nobody ain't got Omar and Hampton top 12 now. You know, top 12. That's too much of a reach. To me. That's what you call reaching and overdraft. That's me. I love Hampton. I would love to have him on the team. But at 12, that's my only question. I would be, look, I'm going to go buy his jersey if he comes to Dallas. Omar and Hampton. That's what I'm talking about. I would love him, but I'm sorry, I didn't have him at 12. I don't have him nowhere near 12. Me. I can name off maybe about 7 or 8 guys I would pick before. And that's even in different positions. I could pick about 7 or 8 guys before I would pick Hampton. Probably more than that. I ain't talking about the guys who obviously are going off the board first, early picks. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about guys, that are right at projected to be at 12 and lower. I could pick about 8, 9 guys. For instance, I would take Mike Green in a hard flash before I take Hampton. I would take Burden. I would take Ibuka before I take Hampton. I would take Tyler Booker, the lineman, before I take Hampton. I'm just telling the truth. I would take Tyler Warren, the tight end from Penn State, before I take Hampton. The only reason why I'm saying is because I know what the value of the running back position is later on. That's the only reason why. Hampton is that dude. But I know what's behind them in the draft. There's plenty of running back. Ellis Gray, you just joined me. I would take, I love Tet. And I love Golden too, but I would take Tet. But that don't mean that I'm saying that he's just so great above Golden. I am not saying that. Well, I'm shouting over either one of them equally. DP, I agree with you, but not at 12 though. I mean, there you go. You saw, you just said it. And Kuiper got us going, and I think that's where a lot of people, change their tune about it. Like Mel Kiper says that this guy's supposed to go at 12. Like, why are we saying he's supposed to go second round? See, Kuiper is starting a lot of mess that I don't even think that the Cowboys personally are thinking, but you never know. He is that good though. Hampton is the truth. I don't even want to diminish it. I'm just saying I got guys who I would take before him. All right. Man, I appreciate all you guys hanging with me, man. You don't have to, and I want to thank you, all of you that's on Twitter, all of you that Big Time Show. Twitter, I don't know why y'all. Let me see if Twitter works. I get a whole bunch of folks that watch me from Twitter, and I don't know why. Y'all don't never say nothing to me. And I'm about to find out if the reason why is because you can't. You can beat me to the punch, y'all, if you say something. Let me see. I'm on Twitter live with y'all right now. Let's see if and see right there, I just did it. See, y'all be peeping in and don't say nothing to me. I don't understand why. See, that's X Twitter. See, Twitter, y'all can say something to me, and y'all don't ever do. I don't get it. I got plenty of y'all be watching. I be like, wow. Where all this stuff come from? Matter of fact, if you're on Twitter, just say something to me, just so I can see. I would love to know who be watching me from there. I don't know some of you. Oh no, they're not snobs. They're good people. They watch the Big Time show. They're good people. And I know it's some regulars. Who's on here with Twitter? I just need one person, and I promise I'll let y'all go. If you one of the ones that have been watching me for a while, but you never contributed to the chat, I would just like to say hello to you. Thank you for, hanging with your boy. Obviously, you have my show is you get the notification, obviously, because you have to select the button to have, to know when I'm coming on live. I would appreciate it if I just want to say hello to you. Thank you for your support. I really would. You see right there, Jay Bryant. See what I'm saying? And I agree with you 100%. Watch this. See that right there? Jay Bryant is absolutely right. I'd rather have Henderson from Ohio State than him. And both of them are very good. I agree. I'm serious. That's. I mean, I can name. I'm just trying to figure out how. Number one, I would love to talk to Mel Kiper and ask why does he have Hampton over Henderson when essentially they pretty much do just about the same thing. I would like to know why he has Hampton that high. Well, that would be kind of like a desperate pick, if you ask me. If you just pick Hampton at 12, that's desperation. I don't see it. I agree with you, Jay Bryant. And on this show, let me thank Jay Bryant as well for him sharing with me his draft board. I've looked at it. I'm not using none of his stuff because I don't agree with some of his stuff on there. But Jay Bryant, man, is a very detailed guy who knows football. Been doing it for a long period of time. Excellent work that he's done. A guy who obviously has watched plenty of film. Done his own board. He ain't copying off nobody. He's just working off the eyes that he sees. And I know y'all don't know what I'm talking about. He shared his whole draft board with me. And I just want to thank him publicly for what he did. He didn't have to share his work with me. And I don't know, maybe he did that for me to use and he seemed like the type of guy, man, that'll just help you out and not take any credit for it. But I want to give him his credit for what he is. He's pretty good. Jay Bryant stuff is very detailed. Everybody's board is gonna be different. You see what I'm saying? Well, the Cowboys, y'all may have this guy as number 5, and the Cowboys may have the guy that you think is number 5 as number 12. That's just how it is. And nobody's board is the exact same. But you can tell somebody who knows what they're talking about. You can tell they're very knowledgeable, and Jay Bryant is one of those guys. So he's always welcome on my show. All his comments are welcome and wanted, even if it don't, if they don't agree with me. I'm big like that. I can say I'm wrong. I can come on here and hammer a point down, and then come on the next show and say, you know what? After listening to Jay Bryant and his comments, he's right, I'm wrong. I'm not too big for that. And I appreciate Jay Bryant. Salute to him. That's really what I want to say. Salute to Jay Bryant. I ain't sharing his work with y'all. Y'all got to get with him and see his draft board. excellent work. Excellent work. I appreciate you, Jay Bryant. No doubt about it. And Jay say, I'm still watching film. see, for scouts, they don't stop until they look while the draft going on. They still watching film. See, that's why Jay, you and Jay, I don't know if you had any updates or anything like that, or you changed your position on something. You know, I need to know that. I need to know what's going on. See if you don't come to my side and some of this stuff. Yeah, so Jay Bryant is one of those jewels of Dallas Cowboy land. And if I got anything to do with it, I'm going to make sure that jewel get to shine even more. So, I'm going to do that. All right, that's enough. I'll holler at y'all. Don't ask me when, because I don't know. My son, just to show you, my son is in the championship tomorrow. His AAU basketball team, the tournament started Wednesday. And now they got now they're in the championship tomorrow. So I don't even know if I'm going to be able to be there because I have to be at church on tomorrow. Hopefully I can get there and they have to play, which is what my hope is. But my son is there, and because of him practicing games during the week, I really can't commit to what time. So if you're watching me now, please just make sure that you have the notifications on. So when I go live, it'll pop right there on your phone, and then you can watch me there, okay? Watch me live whenever I come on, all right? I appreciate you. Hey, my buddy on here, the one and only, Miss Yates. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for popping in on me. Yeah, so I'm on the run pretty much. He's had me on the run for the last month or so. I done put more miles on my Jeep than I have in the last 2 years. I'm getting oil changes quicker than usual. You understand? So, hey, but I wouldn't change a thing. I only have one child, and hey, I love him to death, and I love him. So it's my only chance of being this AAU dad. I'm gonna keep it hot. Football season right around the corner. This boy got me running, and I'm too old. Man, you know what I'm saying? I'm too old for this. See, one of the things most of you know, I had a child late, if you want to call it late. I was 42. Yes, 42 years old when I had my first child. 42 years old. So things that parents are doing at 30, I'm doing at 42 now. I'm 52. And, I get tired at 8:45. Get sleepy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit older now, but my son, who's only 10, has got me running around like, wow. So I just got to ask God to give me more strength. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all take it easy. Y'all come on, jam with me as I leave. A lot of y'all ain't heard my outro song. You about to hear it now. All right, y'all about to hear it now. I'll see y'all when I see you. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the one and only, the Big Time Show.